welcome you all and to introduce the organization, the speakers, and the focus of this conference. This first week of February every year is designated by the United Nations General Assembly as the Interfaith Harmony Week. And this was a proposal put forward by Prince Ghazi bin Muhammad on behalf of His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan. And the basis of this celebration is to promote, the purpose is to promote harmony between all peoples, regardless of their faith. And there are two commandments that form the basis of this celebration. One is love of the one God and love of the neighbor. Love of the one God as expressed in the love of the neighbor. And the second commandment that they use as the basis of this celebration is love of the good. Love of the good deeds, or you can call it love of good ethics, and love of the neighbor. So here are the references to what I'm talking about. And then 4 years later, this troublemaker, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, on 27th of September 2014, proposed to the UN General Assembly the idea of an International Day of Yoga. On December 11th, 2014, UN General Assembly, without a vote, adopted a resolution co-sponsored by 170 nations to declare June 21st as the International Day of Yoga. And this seems to be the logo of that day, Yoga for Harmony and Peace. Yoga in Sanskrit means union.
Shiv?
Yeah. Yes, please mute your audios.
Are you?
Hello?
Shiv, are you recording this?
Can you hear it? I can't hear it.
It's Robin, Shiv. Okay. Robin? You're echoing, Robin?
Don't forget to record it.
Maybe one of the co-hosts can mute her.
Well, I think that she wants to ask. Okay.
I can't.
She's muted herself, I think, because of there's something wrong. I think she was talking about, are you recording? I think that's what she's asking.
I am recording. Okay. I started the recording. I started the recording. Thank you very much, Robin.
Shiva, I'm reminding you to record it.
I am recording, Robin. Thank you. I'm sure I started recording.
Yeah, I'm trying to remind you to record it.
I got it. Thank you. So yoga in Sanskrit means union. And yoga is an eightfold system of discipline dating back to Vedic or pre-Vedic period in India. So it is the practical science of uniting an aspirant with the aspiration. An aspirant wants to be a lover of God, so he can become a lover of God. An aspirant wants to develop something, he can develop something. Whatever is your purpose is, yoga can unite. It's the science of uniting you with your purpose. And it is the closest thing in the modern world is the executive function of neuropsychology. And I have studied them both, and I know the executive function does not come even close to what yoga can deliver. So yoga is an enabling technology. If you aspire to be a lover of God, yoga can help you realize that aspiration. And if you aspire to be a lover of the good, yoga can help you realize that aspiration. And if you aspire to love the neighbor, irrespective of who the neighbor is, yoga can help you realize that aspiration as well. Whatever is your aspiration, to connect you with the aspiration, the technology, the ancient technology is yoga. And if you want to know anything modern that is equivalent to it, or not, maybe not even 50% equivalent to it, I would say. And the other one is called the executive function. And that is the discipline of the neuropsychology. World Interfaith Harmony Week is our aspiration. Yoga can help us realize that. So what we are doing as an organization, we are putting the two together, aspiration and the technology to achieve it. We're putting it together, and we are envisioning the education for the future based upon that togetherness of the two, the aspiration and the way to realize it. The one God is all-inclusive or holistic, while the God of our community is a particular. Shen proposes changing worldwide educational system to balance learning of the holistic and the particular. Our physical organs of perception can only recognize the particular. That means my eyes can only see the particular. My ears can only hear about the particular. My nose can only smell the particular. While our inner eyes, that is the eyes of the mind, can experience the holistic. Yes, in particular and reductionist terms, we are diverse, but we are also holistically one through the one God, the only parent of all that exists. So, and the proposal to re-envision education, we intend to publish it in the form of a book for the attention of all lovers of interfaith harmony, world peace, planetary wellness, and common good. The purpose of this conference is to share that proposal with you all and seek your guidance and ideas to strengthen it prior to its publication. The proposal we are sharing in this conference is largely about how the United Nations and the world's dream of world harmony, voiced by the WIHW resolution, can possibly be realized with the power of yogic inclusiveness recognized by the IDY resolution. Now I'm going to go to why our organization called Spiritual Heritage Education Network exists. And why did I get into it? Why did I instigate that, the formation of this organization? You can see this picture. This picture is a picture of refugees in my province of Punjab in 1947. I was born in 1937. I was 10 years old when these scenes were going on. Refugees coming from the newly created country of Pakistan. I'm sure on the other side there were similar scenarios for the refugees going from the Indian side to the new country of Pakistan. Pakistan and India got divided based upon religion. And at the time of partition, there was an orgy of human cruelty towards other humans. Millions were killed, millions, multi-millions were driven out of their homes. and thousands of women were raped, children killed, no mercy at all. The only reason is that you are a person of the other religion. So you are not one of us. Us and them, us and them fragmentation was so strong based upon religion that there was untold misery. And that was then in 1947. That was my first exposure to it. But then that was how many years ago? And after that, there are so many other situations, incidences that are similar of nature that are going on. Things have not improved at all. The mission statement of this organization that I'm talking about is to provide educational access to thinking and findings of those enlightened beings. And in the enlightened beings, we include prophets, sages, philosophers, scientists, and seers who have spent their lives studying the nature of humankind and its relationships in the world. Our vision is a world where humanity lives contemplatively with deep feelings of unity and diversity, and where diversity is respected in the clear light of our understanding of the underlying oneness that we cannot perceive with our own eyes, but we can perceive with our mind. And our underlying oneness is the truth of both spiritual wisdom of antiquity and that of science of modernity. Our strategy is to re-envision and redesign education to open the contemplative eyes of the human being to seek subtle truths of existence, researched by the sages, seers, prophets, philosophers of antiquity, and scientists of modernity. We call our core scientific and spiritual heritage as holistic science, and a systematic application of it to the benefit of humanity as holistic technology. And yoga is the original holistic technology. The technology on which yoga was based is called Sankhya philosophy, the science on which yoga is based. And that Sankhya philosophy, typical of India, as the Indians know it. So I grew up knowing Sankhya as only Indian. But then I have researched the Quran, I have researched the Bible, and I have researched the Torah, I've researched, various scriptures, and I also looked at metaphysics. So all of them talk of Sankhya in their own ways. The essence of Sankhya is so widespread that yoga, you can say, is based upon the core spirituality of all religions. So therefore, it is meaningful to all. It takes people down to the core of their particular spirituality. And that is why the scriptural science, I'm not talking of scriptural doctrine, the science which is authentic, no matter how you look at it. That part, authentic part of the scripture and the utmost scientific understanding is what I call holistic science. And it is authenticated knowledge, authenticated for the truth, and therefore it can be systematically applied as a technology for the benefit of mankind. So highlights of holistic science: one core spirituality, metaphysics and scriptures unite and converge into spiritual science, revolutionizing interfaith dialogue and understanding. One imperceptible reality, underlying existence, though referred to in different terms, energy and spirit. Spiritual people have been calling it spirit, but Scientists call it energy. Einstein showed how energy and matter are equivalent to each other. And not only equivalent, they are interconvertible. Core conclusions of modern science merge into those of spiritual science, resulting into holistic science, which revolutionizes spiritual communications in the age of science. Now is the age of science. If we talk of scripture, nobody wants to hear it. But if we talk of science, people are open to hearing that. And therefore, the spiritual communication can be revolutionized based upon this science. The beauty or significance of holistic science, it is hoped that new ability to interchangeably refer to various scriptures will create interreligious unity. If I can talk of the Quran and the Vedas in the same sentence interchangeably to mean the same thing, then obviously that shows conclusively that they're talking of the same thing. One imperceptible reality underlying all existence of mind and matter converts all planetary existence to one family. So we are people of relationship. Humanity values relationships. So if we relate with each other as family, that relationship is brought out by this holistic science, then we'll be living, more chance of us living like one family. So convergence of science and spirituality enables a raising and transformation of human consciousness in scientific terms. So I can talk about raising of consciousness in scientific, systematic terms, rather than in terms of belief. And I can talk of yoga using neurophysiology rather than ancient Sanskrit words. So that is the beauty of what we are talking about. Educational objectives of this education that we are talking about, re-envisioning of education: understand, transcend inbuilt instincts, raise human consciousness. Now the basic instinct that is built into us is fear of survival. Okay, and we are so survival oriented that our consciousness is always located at our survival needs. So we can raise it above our basic survival needs once we know how to take charge of our instincts. And that is one thing that we'll be able to do as a result of this education. Transcend limited identity and establish a global one. We are killing each other because we all have our identity. One of the instincts that is built into us is called herd identity. Herd identity is where we all feel safe in numbers, and numbers of the same kind. If you're talking of animals, and this is one of the animal characteristics that we have got in humans, that once we say that this person looks like me, behaves like me, he thinks like me, he believes like me, then I am like him, and therefore that gives me my identity. And if that identity happens to be different from another person's identity, then those two identities clash, and there's no end to that clash. And the other goal that we can deliver is health. Yoga is known for its health potential, happiness, purposefulness of life, oneness, and wellness. And yoga also is known for its focus and attention, enhanced learning ability, seeking emotional and spiritual intelligence as a result of learning of yoga. It's a problem-oriented language education that we are talking about to eradicate bigotry, intolerance, and us versus them conflict, racial problems in North America are something that should be eliminated with this kind of education. if we can implement it. Dreaming and envisioning is one thing, implementing is yet another. And the biggest problem that we'll have is creating the political will to implement it. And we need to work together to create that. And I would help anybody, and I would seek anybody's help to get us there. And the last one is eradicate hunger, poverty, and disease. All three of them result from our lack of focus. We don't have the ability to focus on solving any problem. We are talking of solving all kinds of problems, and we can talk of sorting out all kinds of problems. For God's sake, we should be able to make a couple of dollars to put food on our table. So it's all related. If we can focus on the solution of a problem, we can focus on problem of world peace, we should be able to focus on problem of making $1 to put food on the table. These two statements, one by John Muir, he's an environmental guy from the United States, and the other one from Carl Gustav Jung, who's a psychologist and a psychiatrist. These two statements, you can say, are the essence of what we are doing. Rocks and waters, etc., are words of God, and so are men. We all flow from one function, one fountain soul, which is called spirit, and all are expressions of one love. This is John Muir. He's not a religious person. He's an atheist like me, talking this kind of a language. And the other practice that Carl Gustav Jung is talking about, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will redirect your life and you will call it fate. Making the unconscious conscious, that is the key to good behavior, to good health, harmony and peace in the world. We don't have good health, we don't have good behavior because we let things happen. We let things happen naturally and without our awareness. And if we do things with our awareness and let them not slip in unconsciously, then we can make the world a better place. We have 4 days of this conference, and the first day today is seeing the God of the universe in the relative God of our communities through 99 names of God. In Hinduism, there are 1,000 names of Vishnu. I think this is a typical way of the different scriptures of the word to lead us from a particular to an infinite holistic parent. And then on the 13th, how to raise consciousness to mere survival, to see the universal God in the relative God of our communities. If we are focused on our survival, our consciousness gets very limited. So to expand the consciousness so that we can relate with the holistic. On February 2nd, we'll be talking about the holistic science and how there are only 4 ways we can exist. And there's a state of existence called contemplative state. And what is that state of existence that we want to spend some time in so that we can appreciate the subtle realities of existence. And then February 27th, this is when we are going to talk about how to contemplate, and that is yoga. How to contemplate in the yogic tradition to see the universal everywhere. and also that universal is in the relative God of our community. Agenda for the day, I'm already gone, taken my 25 minutes. No, I still got 3-4. Okay. The introductions of the conference we have already done. The organizer has been introduced. Introduction of the presenters will take some time to doing that. And then we have deep breathing. We will, this is a practice, which in Sanskrit is called pranayama. And in English, you can call it deep breathing. And this practice can raise our consciousness from mere survival. And we'll spend 10 minutes every day of the 4 days that we will be meeting, sharing this practice with each other. And then my friend Imam Habib Ali from Toronto will give a presentation on 99 names of God. And Bill Binkus is here from all the way from New York to learn about the 99 names. And then Fred Lawler, my friend from Nova Scotia, Love is the Movement, Doubt is the Method. That is the title of his presentation. And then we'll break out in smaller rooms. Well, we're not too many, but maybe 2-3 groups we can break out. We can have discussion in our small groups and come back and report on whatever we discussed. And then we'll talk about the next session, and that'll take us to 12:30.